Hey, everybody, welcome back to the last Callout podcast. Technically episode 4, but episode 2. I'm Matthew, your host, co-host, IFBB Pro Z. We're going to call you IFBB Pro Z.
That's funny. Whatever keeps it easier.
People are like, how do we say his name?
You know, it's exactly how it's spelled, but I always
Right.
tell people too, like
Zaim.
Zaim. The moment I see them like struggling, I'm just call me Z.
Yeah, well, it's funny because in my head, I've always called you Z.
Yeah.
Like, and I know we lost contact for 10 years, but even when I think back to when we were talking,
Yeah.
I always just called you Z in my head.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever had to say your name out loud though.
No,
But I
I
knew
yeah.
but I knew how to say it. I was
Yeah.
just like, it's Zim.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, so on today's episode, we got all of our best talking out before the episode, obviously. And we'll clue everybody into that as time goes on. Today, however, we'll do our Arnold Classic review. So you were mentioning before, though, like you haven't been following it a lot this year.
No, only because like I know most of the people that are competing in it, et cetera,
Yeah.
from an open and classic perspective, but you know, I've been focused on the push between that,
Mm.
working for a living, and then having the kid now. And then, before that, Haley was pregnant, so we're making sure she's okay.
Right. So you're like, at some point in the future, there's a bodybuilding contest, a pretty big one,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I've got other things to do.
yeah. I mean, that's why it took me so long to even pick the pro shows that I was going to do this year, just
Yeah.
because in my head, I'm like, let's boil this down to the simplest thing, which is just train, eat, work, take care of your wife, and then rinse and repeat.
Right. The bare minimum standards. Like,
Yeah.
it's like Chris Aceto always used to say, like, you can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, and what he is referring to are the bodybuilders that think, oh, I have to quit my job,
No. Yeah.
leave my wife and do nothing to bodybuild.
Yeah.
And you've been doing this just as long as I have, about 2 decades now, like
Yeah.
the act of bodybuilding, right? And never once did it cross my mind, oh, I should probably quit my job, not have a girlfriend, not have a wife, not have a
Yeah.
family. Let's just go live in a pasture somewhere and just lift weights.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it,
and
it
it's funny, man. I'm glad that you brought that up because, I'll be 40 in May, right? So
Mhm.
I'm definitely probably one of the oldest people that goes into any gym or like my
Mhm.
gym. And there's a lot of like 20-year-olds in there. And I see a lot of the younger guys there. And I'm like, oh, are you guys dating? Like, what's going on? And like, oh no, we're just focused on the gym. And I'm kind of like in my head, I'm like, I loved bodybuilding when I was your age, but
Mhm.
I also liked girls,
Heck
like I'm
yeah.
weird that they just don't care about that, but, God bless them, I guess, if
Well,
that's
I see him too. I see it's funny. We talked about young people last time. We talk about young people this time. I know you and I are very passionate about that as well. So we'll do an episode on that. But I see the group of young guys and girls in the gym. They're all
yeah,
training together, and like you can't really tell. Like to your point, like can't.
yeah,
They're not dating. They're just there. And funny enough, my wife now, Ashley, and
mhm,
we went to high school together. Never like knew each other's names, but never pursued a relationship at all. She was a class below me. Not that that matters, but never. So just two ships in the night, right? Fast forward, I got a divorce from my ex-wife, and I'm training at this Anytime Fitness hole in the wall right around the corner because it's across the street from my house at the time. And there she is. And so she reached out to me because she knew that I'd competed and she saw me on social media, and she reached out and was like, "Hey, I'm my coach, I just did a show. She ghosted me. Ashley, my wife, she hadn't menstruated in years.
mhm,
She hadn't had a cycle in years because of like the diet that this individual had her on."
yeah,
And so I explained to her, I was like, well, I don't really help a lot of women, but I understand, the basics of what we need to do to get you squared away, get your cycle back, etc. So I started training her. Long story long, to your point, I never had aspirations of having a relationship with her at first, but once we realized like we kind of had something,
mhm,
we were training together. I was doing her diet, and then after a couple months, I just said to her, hey, I kind of have feelings for you.
mhm,
I'm not pushing a relationship on you. I
mhm,
can, because we were training together. So I said, I can, coach you from afar and we don't train together anymore.
Mhm.
I said, or 2, we can see this thing out. Like, let's see where it goes. And she's like, okay, cool. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, so the fact that, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so you literally said, I remember you and I talked about, like, if you're gonna constructively criticize, like, also provide a solution, right? So like
Right.
so in this particular case, like the thing that I would say is exactly what you just said to the young person. Living in extremes and black and white statements and absolutes is not how life works. It gets you nowhere. What I
Mhm.
would say is like you could, if maybe I'm your age and I have the wisdom, if you want to call it that, that I do now, and someone was to come to me and my primary goal is bodybuilding, but
Mhm.
I'm a heterosexual male. I like women. If someone was to say, "Hey, man, like, are you trying to pick up chicks?" I would say, if it presents itself, absolutely.
Right.
But I'm here to train. But if I run into some really cool chick here that I like and we hit it off, absolutely.
Mhm.
But what you should not say is like, "Nah, I'm only going to bodybuild because
No,
that's."
this is it, man. This,
Yeah, just
yeah,
don't take extremes. Let life come at you as it does. Let opportunities present themselves. If they seem
right.
like
Just like
they're
Chris Aceto said, you can walk and chew gum at the same time.
yeah,
Like, you can have a relationship with somebody. And the funny thing is, what we're talking about is the universe putting that person in your
mhm,
path.
mhm,
You weren't Chris Williamson on the podcast I was listening to today. He did a Q&A. There were 3 questions about dating, and 2 of them were from people in Australia where they were saying, how come, it was women saying, how come I can't find a good man here?
mhm,
And what the example Chris gave is, well, what is the avatar that you're looking for? Am I looking for somebody that's fit, that is a high net worth individual or a high value individual? Let's not talk about net worth. Like, let's just say a high value individual, growth minded, the type of person that does X, Y, and Z.
yeah,
What is that person? All right, great. Now go to the places that person is at.
yeah,
Right? So why are you going to the bar
yeah,
looking for a runner? Right?
right,
You wouldn't go to the bar to find an Olympic athlete.
right,
So so the point is, the young men and women that are training, that communicate in absolutes. No, I'm just going to put my nose to the grindstone. Dude, the universe just put somebody that is aligned with
yeah,
something that you're doing.
yeah,
Like, you're passionate about this thing, bodybuilding, bettering yourself, whatever it is. The universe just gave you a halfway decent looking
yeah,
specimen
yeah.
to enjoy life with. I
Yeah.
would take that, like, every day.
And let's be real here for a moment. I've been around gyms, like you said, for about 2 decades now.
Mhm.
I've seen what I'm about to say next far more often than I've seen the opposite, which is this. The people who talk in those extremes, the moment a girl or guy comes along, you never see him again. They've given up on the gym.
Right.
And the only time you'll see them come back is when and I hope this doesn't happen, but like if
When
that
they're
really,
single,
yeah, when you're single again, right?
because they were doing it for the wrong reasons.
We're doing it for the wrong reasons, right? And I
Yes.
always tell people this. I was like, I've been in the gym consistently chasing a goal for about 20 years. You almost don't see that. You got to be a little
Mhm.
nuts, right? Like, and even with all that said, like, I've always wanted a wife. I've always wanted a family. I've always
Mhm.
wanted someone to share this with. I didn't want to do it by myself. I was never unrealistic saying like, I'm just going to be this hardcore bodybuilder that lives in like a basement with a little fridge, and I take my meals out and I eat
Right.
them and I cry in front of the TV. It's like, come on.
Right. I'm gonna get a gym. I'm gonna open a gym, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna sleep in the break room.
In the break.
And yeah, and I've got my mini fridge, and I've got my supplements, and
Yeah.
no people though. Got to go total monk mode. It's like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, you can walk and chew gum. You can have a life. And
Yeah.
actually, here I'll add this. You should have a life
Yeah.
outside of this,
You need to. You need-
because what happens if this is taken away from you?
yeah.
For
And it will be at some point for all
It
of us.
will. Well, yeah. I mean, look at you and I. So, I mean, you and I can probably healthfully, competitively bodybuild for the next 10 years at most.
Yeah.
And when I say competitively, I mean within our categories, right?
Yeah.
Within our age groups. But so we got 10 years ahead of us at best. So but then, like, let's say, knock on wood, God forbid, like, you pulled your quad tendon a couple weeks back. I subluxed, dislocated my hip the
Mhm.
weekend before Christmas. And I trained legs yesterday for a quad dominant leg session yesterday in St. Pete for the first time. My hip was screaming. Well, now, am I saying this is the end? No, I was able to get a good training session in, but what happens if it is? And
Yeah.
that's all I had was
Yeah.
bodybuilding, and that is
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's a very, very sad reality I don't want to have to experience.
I know, I'm working. And listen, I sympathize with a lot of these people I'm talking about because I have aspirations of what I want to. My goals of what I want to do professionally are just two more things, and once those are done, dude, I will be out, right? And again, I'm always going to bodybuild and live the lifestyle to a degree, but like I don't care to compete after that. I agree with you. Like at being 40 in May, I'm like every time I walk into the gym, and knock on wood, nothing's really I've been healthy thus far. You never know. You never know.
Yeah,
This
you
is
never know what session's going to be the
yeah.
last one.
This is a game of wear and tear, right? So like,
Yeah.
we've been beating up our bodies for a while, and you could be absolutely perfect at that, and certain point of a tendon or whatever, just like I'm done.
Well, and I don't, and when I say what the session that'll be the last one, I'm not referring to like you can't train anymore. I mean, look at Ronnie. I don't know if you saw the recent post from Ronnie that some of the other news channels have been putting out, and we're not a news channel, but the other news channels have been putting out this post of Ronnie doing flat dumbbell press,
Mhm.
and he's sitting on the bench, throws the weight back like he normally would have. They might be 50, 60-pound weights, whatever they are.
Yeah.
But so that's not to say, and he's been through many, many surgeries.
Yeah.
That's not to say you won't be able to train ever,
Yeah.
but if all you're doing this for is the competitiveness of it, external competitiveness, not internal.
Mhm.
I'm all for the internal, because even Ronnie's competing with himself now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but if you're only doing this for the external of I'm going to prove I'm the biggest, the best, and get on stage and flaunt this pageantry in front of everybody, if that's the only reason you're doing this, you might want to reconsider it.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree.
Versus like you and I, we're going to do it into our golden years because we love it.
Yeah.
And are we going to be able to train at the same level? Am I going to be able to throw 7, 8 plates on the prime leg press, and which is what I injured myself on, and do that forever? Nope. There's going to come an end to it. But I'm always going to be able to train at some level.
Yeah.
And that's what I love.
Yeah. And that's the most realistic, smartest, the healthiest way to look at it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm a little bit of a work in progress on that because I still.
Well, you just got, but you're a new pro though. Like, well, not, and I say new, couple years in, right?
Yeah.
Or no, 1 year.
2024, 1 year.
Okay, yeah. So 1 year, one full season in. But now, if ever there was a time to be competitive, now it's now for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
you
even that, you do it intelligently, right? Like
right.
I used to be, thank God the younger generation is great about not doing dumb exercises like we did. Like for instance, like let's say you're in there banging out skull crushers and your elbows are screaming, you're like, nope, got to do this, right? I see a lot of there's a kid that I saw in the gym a couple days ago, and people bash on the science-based lifters, but they have their merits for certain things. I saw this kid have like a cuff in a certain area to hit his triceps, and you know what? He's probably going to have a lack of tendonitis for most of his life. And good for him. Yeah, he's figured that out at 20 years old, right? Like
right.
My dumb ass wouldn't have figured that out until a year ago.
No, right, exactly. A smart man learns from his own mistakes. A brilliant man learns from the mistakes of others. I know that we're going to be tape recorders through a lot of our podcasts, but it's so true. It's like, I mean, how many, the squat is an amazing exercise. It's an amazing exercise for hypertrophy, for overall strength and development. However, not everybody's genetically put together well enough to squat and have a propensity to isolate and grow their quads. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm that person. I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I used to love squatting, and I love to squat heavy and deep with great form. My quads did not grow. However, I did get really good hamstrings and glutes, which we know that has to do with form. But why keep trying to put the square peg into the round hole?
Yeah.
So eventually we stopped doing the squats and the 225-pound skull crushers that are causing us to have just little nagging injuries here and there, or like pains, and we find what works for us.
Yeah.
Like a pendulum squat.
Yeah.
And with triceps, we move on to like John Jewett does the unilateral, a lot of unilateral movements overhead unilateral cables or unilateral pull downs, but find the movements that work for you,
Yeah.
that aren't going to destroy you. And the earlier you can do it, the better ultimately.
I agree. I agree. And I was one of those people where I did get great growth from squats. The only
Lucky.
downside is, the more you have to load the squat, the more potential for injury you put yourself at. And I kept tweaking my lower back in the middle of prep. And I finally said,
Yep.
well, what am I doing here? I'm here for quad growth primarily. That's what I was using squats for.
Hmm.
There's a bunch of alternatives that aren't going to load my back, aren't going to put me in a compromised position, and I'm going to be able to train the hell out of my quads.
Yeah, man, I really do. I do love squats. The problem is, unless you've got the best gym kit in the world, you can't. It's very difficult to not put yourself in a compromising position in most gyms. Like if
Yeah.
because the walkout's what's most compromising.
Yep.
You know, you
That's why.
walk it. Right, and that's my point. I just that's where most injuries come from. The walkout, and maybe the walkout is not where you get injured, but the walkout and then the setup, your
Mhm.
setup subsequently from the walkout, your setup's typically not right.
Mhm.
So then, like maybe one leg's cocked out this way, the other leg's
Yeah.
this way. Your stance isn't right, so then your execution is off, and then your hips go out or they go in, and that's how
Yeah.
you get injured.
Yep. I
But
agree
if
with you.
you've got, if you go to like Elite FTS, which what is it, Dave Tate? Yeah, Dave Tate. If I got that wrong, forgive me, Dave. But Elite FTS, where John Meadows, Dave, Skip Hill, all those guys used to train back in the days, they've got every piece of equipment you could ever imagine. Yeah, maybe you could squat there and you'd be okay.
Well, yeah, like so my gym here in up here in Jacksonville has an Elite FTS competition squat rack where like
Ah,
you basically the moment you ready to go, the thing moves out and then
you get
someone
in
moves.
and set up.
You can literally be in position, right? So if you have that, yeah, squat until you're blue in the face.
Yeah. It just but if you don't, to the point we're making, it's find we're here. The funny thing about bodybuilding is we all want to get strong,
Mhm.
but what we all tend to miss the forest through the trees of bodybuilding is not about being strong, it's about looking strong.
Period.
It's a look. And that's the funny thing is I've always chased the strength, I've always chased the logbook.
Yeah.
But then I think about it and I look at guys like Nick Walker, which Nick Walker's a genetic anomaly. We were talking about genetics off camera.
Yeah.
But as you're watching him train now, and he's not training with super heavy poundages.
Not at
Now,
all.
he's got amazing execution though,
Yeah.
and that's just it. It's now, could you put that size on with just that execution and the lightweight? Probably not.
Probably not.
There's a point where you have to push the weight.
I think he is one of those dudes too that has he's just a freak in terms of like he might be he might be one of those guys where you always hear that saying like, look at a dumbbell and he could probably slap on a little bit of weight, a muscle, right?
Right. What is that gene?
Myostatin.
Yeah, myostatin. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like missing the myostatin gene or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the dude just puts on muscle by
Mhm.
almost looking at it. So yeah, like
Mhm.
but and I think it's funny when it comes to like Nick Walker. I think people also kind of discount how intensely he still trains. Yeah, he's not pushing crazy load, but he's training intensely as hell.
Right.
So, if you go and the dude is probably dialed in every aspect of his life when it comes to that sport. So yeah, is it surprising that he puts on the kind of tissue and stuff that he does? Not at all. He's an incredible athlete. So
Well, yeah. Well, that's what kind of segue into the next point is. I mean, like, hold on one second. Pull this up. So here's the lineup. Can you still see me?
yeah.
All right. I wanted to look at Nick really quick because, like, to the point we were talking about, the dude just puts on muscle. Where is that one post? Where is it? It might have been on one of his reels. But this dude, I mean, just look at this and look, that's not that much weight. Like the weight that's on the
I
leg
think you're
press.
sharing. I think you're sharing the wrong screen.
I am sharing the wrong screen.
There
Oops,
we go.
my bad. There it is.
Jesus, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, look at and he's not training with heavy weight, just the
By the way,
execution.
that's a great leg press, man. That Cybex.
Yes, yeah. So we have the prime leg press. I don't know if you've seen it. It sucks
Yeah,
because it's the Cybex leg press that the platform's not fixed like that. The platform kind of tilt. So
yeah.
we've got the prime that's kind of like that. And
Gotcha.
that's kind of what I injured myself on. But those the fixed platform, you know, just they just slide up and down, are phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick's just a genetic anomaly. So, all right, really, I'm going to segue real quick.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the Arnold's page because I
And by
want
the
to
way,
look.
as you're doing that, I would love to spend a month training with Nick. Just go through his, you know.
Bro, the funny thing is, if Nick could decide on a standardized location of where he wants to live,
Yeah.
I that would be great for the world, because he used to live he lived in Tampa.
Yeah. Then now he's
And
in Vegas.
yeah, well, so he lived obviously home with his parents.
Yeah.
Then when he was sponsored by Matt, Raw and Revive, he moved down to Tampa. If I remember correctly, the sequence of events, moved to Tampa, didn't like it on this side, moved over to uh where Raw is, over in Stewart, over by
Okay.
Stewart.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think he bought a house in Stewart and then moved to Arizona.
Okay.
Or not Arizona, Nevada,
Vegas.
where Vegas, yeah. Um, and then didn't like it there, so he went and did the prep at home with his family. And then now I don't know where he is. I think he's still out in Vegas. But yeah, the dude moves all over. People make fun of him for switching coaches and switching houses and supplement companies and everything. I think the guy just likes change.
And honestly, man, when people are like commenting on that kind of stuff, I'm like, it's his life. I'm not. I
Yeah,
don't.
let him do whatever the hell he wants to do. Well, like
Yeah,
the
you know,
whole
like
did you
if you want, like, you know, he's the one. It's his career. If he wants to switch his coach and move where he's moving, you know, I would say it's probably better being a guy like that who's not gonna sit and be so confined by the minutia and say, hey, listen, it's time for me to move on. And he moves on. You know, why not?
Well, the dude just let him live his life, live and let live.
Yeah.
What does it care? I mean, like people are making this big deal about Hadi
Yeah.
with what's going on in Iran, and then with Evogen dropping him, and it's like, listen, guys, one of my mentors
Wait.
always,
Evogen dropped him?
yeah, Evogen dropped him, but here's the thing though, it's like everybody's postulating on why. Nobody knows why. Nobody
Yeah.
knows why. The only
Because
person that knows why.
Hani's also Irani. So I'm like,
Yeah. Hadi, well, and Hadi and Hani.
yeah.
But the thing about it is, the only people who actually know are Hadi and Hani.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody else should just keep. Well, I mean, we can talk about it like this, but
Yeah.
people talking about, oh, he got fired because of what's going on in Iran. You have no idea. Absolutely
I
no
know
idea.
as you're pulling this up, I know what I've understood as to what's happening there. People are just upset that like he benefited from the current regime in Iran,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
and then he chose to comment on that. And you know, obviously people there are being slaughtered, so like they were not happy
Right.
with that. And people are
But
making
think,
he could have just been quiet, right? Like he could have just said
right.
nothing.
But think about, here's the thing that, and I'm gonna side with Hadi just for a second, because I mean, I was in the army.
Yeah.
And you know, so we fought in the wars in
Yeah.
Iraq and Afghanistan. Those regimes are very, very oppressing.
Mhm.
And Hadi is a superstar there.
Yeah.
Superstar. So, you know, I'm sure that I'm speculating at this point, but I'm sure that he was probably paid a salary by the government to some degree, you know, subsidized. He was provided for. His family's there. He's got kids and a wife.
Yeah.
And you know, you coming from your family, coming from where you came from, and
Yeah.
knowing kind of how that part of the world works, that I would not, if I were Hadi, I would not want to speak out against the regime.
100%. 100%. I'm with you. Yeah.
And now, would I be going out and saying, you know, this, everybody just needs to calm down, the regime knows what they're doing? No, there's a happy medium,
Yeah.
but I certainly wouldn't be speaking out about them. I would not martyr myself and my family
No, and he's
for.
there. He's in there. He's in the country. So yeah, absolutely.
Right. And if he wasn't a superstar, right, then okay, I get it. Yeah, then he could be his own person. The sad thing is he can't be his own person in his position right now. Otherwise, he would be martyred. They would kill him and his family.
Agreed. And again, I think the thing that some people are rightfully saying, it's like when people get pissed off at like Hollywood celebrities for saying something or not saying something. It's like they're actors, you know. What do you
Right, right, right,
They're not. It's not like a political someone who's in the
right, and
political space
and
said something. So
and most of those people, their lives are so Pollyanna. It like
yeah,
it's they're in a different world.
yeah,
Like
agree.
they don't know what it's like. And I'm not saying we're oppressed. You and I talked about how grateful we are to live the lives that we live. We're very blessed, but they're not here with the normal folk. You know what I mean?
No,
It's like so for when if they had an opinion, I wouldn't even listen to it because
exactly.
it's like where's it coming from, right?
Yeah,
All right, we got kind of tangential. All right, so couple things. This is the open lineup.
yep.
Now, Tonio, I know he's not doing it. Have you followed Tonio at
I
all?
have actually. I actually had the opportunity to see him like up close when he was in Kissimmee Muscle once, and incredible.
Tell me he's not Dexter Jackson
Yeah,
2.0.
the dude is incredible. Absolutely.
It's it. I all that he needs to do is just keep doing what he's doing.
Yes.
That's it. Whatever he's doing, he is the Dexter Jackson of our era. I know he's not doing it. I know that Andrew is. Mo is doing it, which they messed up his name here. This is Mo Fuda. This guy. Do you know who Anthony Williams is?
I haven't heard of that name in a long time.
So this dude right here, he won the Arnold Classic last year.
Okay.
He's
He
coached
did?
by John Jewett. He won
Oh,
the amateur side.
oh, amateur side. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
he's coached. So whenever you win the amateur, the next year they invite you back and you do the pro.
Gotcha.
So he's coached by John Jewett. The dude is a behemoth. He's like 6'2", over 300 pounds in the off season. And in my humble opinion, he was definitely the dark horse. However, I'm starting to see some chinks in the armor
Mhm.
because we're 2 weeks out now. I don't know if he's going to have the size to be super competitive with uh Andrew. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's going to have Andrew jacked. I don't know if he's going to have the size there to be super competitive. We'll look at him in a second, but just going through the lineup, Martin Fitzwater, he's definitely a top call out guy. Hottie, I don't know what the situation with his people say he's here. He's got the visa and he's here. I don't know if he is for certain. But it's Hottie's show to lose, frankly.
Yeah.
Hassan Mustafa, have you followed this guy at all since
I have.
in the past few years?
I have. Yeah. I know. I know he's one of those guys that I've noticed is always the amount of muscle on him is unreal, but his peak has been on and off. And I remember when he was with AJ Sims, and then I haven't heard about him for like the last year.
Well, when he
Really.
was with AJ, and I'm not gonna speculate. However, I know how AJ runs his peaks, and I think the problem with Hassan is he's one of those people that has to tank their estrogen to get in shape.
Mhm. Yeah.
And he wasn't doing it with anybody else. And that's AJ does that. AJ a few weeks out starts tanking your estrogen, and what happens when you do that? You get dry.
Yeah.
And that's what brought him in. And I don't think that he liked that process. And ever since then, he's just never gotten in shape again. Because he got in shape the one time he was with AJ. I think they did the Orlando.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and he won. And that's the only time he's been in shape. So just quickly, then we got Rafa Brandau. He's not going to be ready, I don't think. Nick has a lot to lose here.
Yeah.
And here's why. Now, I'm not one of those people that say you need to retire. Like I can't stand that. Have you noticed that lately?
I don't know why they're saying it, to be honest with you.
Well, but there's this sentiment in the industry that if they place outside of the top 3, that they should retire. They're washed up.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
I think they don't understand bodybuilding when they say that, you know?
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. Last show I did, I was 14th,
Yeah.
and like I didn't fall out of love with it, and I wasn't like, well, this is it. I'm just gonna pack it up and go home now.
I mean, that's kind of a loser's mentality too, right? Like you have one bad showing and you just throw the towel in. It's like,
Right? What? It doesn't make any sense at all.
yeah.
Then you have your perennial Brandon Curry and then Akeem Williams. So it's actually not a huge lineup this year.
Yeah.
But there's a couple I want to focus on. One, Hassan. So if this is Hassan recently, because I mean, it's 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I don't think that they've told him when the Arnold Classic is. Like, hold on, go back. I don't think my guy knows when the show is.
They might not.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I say this with respect, like the dude still has cankles.
Yeah.
But again, I think it goes back to the fact that he doesn't get in shape. And very easily, we should say.
Right.
So I don't think he's going to be in the top call out.
No.
And then,
I'm gonna give you my top 5 just by looking at the list.
yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask you. As soon as I go through a few of these real quick, because we already know the top guys. We know it's going to be between Nick, it's going to be between Hottie, it's going to be between Martin, and it's going to be between Andrew Jack. Yep. And then the dark horse is going to be Anthony Williams. Now, that's what I was going to show you next. So Anthony Williams, this guy, so I'll give you this post right here. And keep in mind, he's 275-ish pounds right now, and he's like 6'2".
Okay.
Now, beautiful, beautiful physique. If you haven't been following him here, let's see if we can get, right here. Like that's beautiful. Now, the short his shortcoming is going to be in the fact that as big as he is, don't think he's going to be big enough.
Well, and he's got to stand next to Andrew. It's like, come on.
That was the point I was going to make. Here, let me see if I can pull this video up. Is this the one? Does he do a back pose here? Yes, he goes to a back pose here. I think that he's going to look very narrow.
Yes.
And we haven't seen him in a lineup, so we don't know. But I think when you see this back pose, you might agree. Andrew looks like a 747 jet from behind.
He's just so wide, the dude, you know.
But that right there, the lats, he's not wide enough yet.
No,
and I don't know.
Really, he's really wide from the front, but I wonder if he has small clavicles and he just has huge delts. So in the front, it looks good.
Right. He's got 100%. Yeah, he's got a good setup. Like as far as from the front, bang on. But then you turn around to the back and it's a good back. There's density. I mean, you can see that his lats insert really low.
Yeah,
but he's going to be
it's a great back, just not as good as Andrew's.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's going to be the tell all is when he gets in the lineup, because here's where he won the amateur last year.
You know the other thing about him, do you know how old he is?
No, I don't know how old this guy is.
Well, that's almost irrelevant, because even Andrew is like 39, 40. But like this dude is, like, you looking at his physique, I'm like, that's the future right there, as he just keeps packed. Really, it's just his back. If he can get a little bit bigger in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, even here, when he was, this is 2 weeks ago, when he was a little bit further out, it looked like he was a little bit wider in the back. But as he's starting to pull it in more, you're starting to see, okay, that it's because his kidney pinches have come down a good bit. So now you're really seeing, okay, this is what he's got left, and that was that posing video that we saw. But like you said, if he just keeps putting it on,
dude, it looks incredible. If I'm being honest. I haven't as much as you have, but like just looking at this, I'm like, damn, Yeah,
he's the and for me, he's the dark horse. Yeah. He's the guy that, depending on the call he gets, he could be in the top 6.
Well, and the one interesting thing about his physique based on these pictures is, like, I know African American dudes generally don't get that grainy look that he has.
Right. And his skin is and he's coached by John. So if anybody's going to bring him in, it's John.
Oh, it's scientific.
All right. So then I'm not really going to focus on Hottie too much, because we all know Hottie. So the funny thing about Hottie is this. I love his physique. He's not going to get any better. And now when I say that, I'm not criticizing him and saying he's going to get worse, he should retire. We've seen the best. I think Fuad even said something like this. We've seen the best Hottie, right? Like, so all we're going to see from this point on is just the consistency. We're just going to see Hottie show up time and time again, which will eventually lead to him being overtaken. Because once you've seen the best enough, it's kind of like the Ronnie Coleman syndrome. It's like, all right, Ronnie, here comes Ronnie again. We know he's good. All right, great. And you kind of want something to reinvigorate, something special. Yeah. So, but again, his show to lose. If he shows up nails, like hard as nails, that's it. We're done. The other where is I'm not going to focus on Martin. Oh, have you been following Martin at all lately?
I have. Yeah.
What in the world's going on with this poor guy?
I don't know,
He
dude. Yeah.
well, he's like we've talked about before. Just he's letting the negative energy impact him.
I think that's the problem he's had in the past before too. Remember, like earlier in his career, uh he kind of like stepped away for a little bit and kind of fixed a lot of that. And it seems like
Yeah,
be his default, and then he's kind of fallen back into that space. But
and I my hypothesis is this, and I'm not trying to be derogatory towards the guy. We all have demons that we have to fight one way or the other.
Mhm.
It seems like, we talked about earlier how you and we don't need the acknowledgement and the recognition. Like, I don't need people to tell me how good I am. I've never needed that. And it seems like Martin may be the type of person that is fueled off of that.
Right.
So like he's fueled off of I'm the best, look at me, I'm doing well. And then when there's any inkling of he might not win the show, like with Fuad, like Fuad only said, like he's always been in Martin's corner.
Yeah.
But then he said, hey, he'll be in the top somewhere, but might not win.
Yeah.
And Martin takes that as a slight.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It's
mean, people are entitled to have their opinions. It's like you can't.
well, let's put
I get so here's my thing on that. I can get why that would hurt you, because I'll be honest with you. Like if I'm Martin and someone says that about me, that like is my
he's in
sponsor.
your corner.
Yeah, in my mind, I would think like, well, he could have just left it at he's going to be in the top somewhere, right? Like, why did you have to
Right.
take it, but he's not going to win? Like, he could have left that part out, because that now hurts my feelings a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know if Fuad said he's not going to win. I just know that there was a potential that,
Dude, Fuad is a weird dude, because even back when Samson was coached by Hostile,
yeah,
he would
or
constantly like
sponsored by Hostile, and he was coached by
sorry, yeah, his wife.
he was coached by he was coached by Milena or whatever her name is.
Yeah, like towards the end. I know he was coached by like oh God, why am I forgetting? Mark
No, he was coached
Milos.
by
Milos.
Milos. Yes.
Yeah. So Milos, when he was coached by Milos and then his wife, and he was still with Hostile. I remember, if they would ask Fuad, like, oh, how do you think Samson's going to do? And this is right before he won the Olympia. He's like, oh, well, I don't know. And I don't know if it's just like he knows there's a conflict of interest there, so he doesn't want to say too much. But if that's my guy, if that's like a guy that I'm paying as part of my team, dude, I'm going to be raving about him up until the rafters, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know why he has this weird thing where he has to kind of like downplay his people. It's okay to be a little biased. That's your guy.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're paying him a lot of money. No, he meant Fuad mentioned he was paying Fitzwater $100,000. And I'm sure that Samson was paid more than that. I'm sure that it was probably upwards of $250,000
For the show.
No, for a sponsorship.
Jeez, that's what bodybuilding's turned into.
Oh yeah. Fitzwater got $100,000, and
Yeah, but you remember back in the day when we were like young, when the contracts used to be like a couple mil for these guys.
yeah, the Muscle Tech contracts with Jay and Ronnie. Yeah, oh yeah, that was Muscle Tech money.
Yeah, the glory days are.
God, but I mean, some of these, but they're the exception. Samson and the top guys, that's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah.
But they'll get $20,000 a month. But then you've got the bottom 8, Pareto's principle, right? 20% and 80%. 20% of your people get you 80% of the results, and then the bottom 80 might be getting $5,000 from 6 companies put together.
True.
Like it's so it's very feast or famine. But what was I saying about that? Doesn't matter. So look, I want to look at Andrew real quick, and then we can go on, because I want to focus a little bit on classic physique today. So that's the funny thing. You're the classic pro. I don't follow him as much since Chris retired. I don't follow classic nearly as much as I used to.
This is going to be sad. I follow the top guys in that list, and the rest of them, just as it's hurt me, I've not heard of them.
You know what's funny? It's funny you say that, because I feel like there's far too many classic pros kind of in that top, or like, I'll say it this way. There's far too many classic pros at the top level for me to follow. In the middles, even more.
Yeah.
So like I don't think I said that well enough, but
No, I know what you mean.
yeah, at the top, it's just like there's so many people that are so good.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. We're at okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. With open bodybuilding, you know who the top is. There's like 8 people.
Yeah.
There's like 8 to 10 people who could win. Classic, roll the dice, bro. There's like
30. Yeah.
yeah, there's like 30 guys and they all look the same.
Yeah.
And they're, I mean, beautiful physiques. But then you've got your, the mid, there's a lot more classic pros that are doing anything.
True.
Whereas with the open class, there's fewer that are actually aspiring to do anything.
True.
All right. So Rafa, God, I love this guy's physique.
I'm always physique, man. He has incredible like structure.
Everybody's, people in the past were saying, oh, he needs to do classic. He'd just have to cut off one of his legs.
Yeah,
Because he's a big dude. Now, here's the only thing though. I paused it. Perfect timing. That's not 2 weeks out. And everybody, here's the thing though. The sentiment around the industry is, oh, he gets in shape fast. I respectfully beg to differ. I saw the Arnold Brazil or Arnold South America last year, and that he won, or it was the year before last year, and he had soggy glutes. And I know it's not a glutes and hamstring show. I understand that. So I'm not trying to sound like Boston Lloyd over here criticizing everybody for having soggy glutes, but that's not stage condition. And that's not this right here and this right here is not, oh, I just have some water to pull and I'm 2 weeks out.
Agreed.
Like there's still body fat there. And even on the hamstrings, there's still body fat that has to be lost. And if you're 2 weeks out and you've got that look, that's not coming off in this next 7 days.
Yeah, you know, like, and how drastic do you have to get in that 2 weeks, and what else does that mean, right?
Well, right. What is it? Well, what are you going to compromise? So let's say that you could dig down for the next 7 days and you could pull some of that off. What's that going to do to your overall look?
Exactly, right? Like what is the, I mean, the level of depletion you have to go through to get that off quickly.
Mm-hmm.
What's that going to do for your muscularity, etc.
And, obviously they don't have to weigh in the open class, but let's say he's able to suck down and pull some of this off.
Yeah.
Then is he even going to be able to peak? Because he's not going to be able to.
And that's exactly it. Like, is he going to be able to peak effectively if he like gets that depleted?
Right. Yeah. Because then you have to refill it, hope you don't spill.
Yeah.
And then you're having to throw the whole chemistry set at him
then are you gonna, we've seen this before with a bunch of people. It's like, then you could potentially blow prejudging and bring an incredible package to the night show, and then that's not going to be enough. So it's like,
right. So it's funny that it's awesome that you say that, because that's the type of situation where he can go from, Rafa could be top 6, or he could be 10th, if he blows that peak.
Yep, easily. Yep. And that's really what it is. It's like, how do you show up? Are you going to be peeled enough? And if so, what is that going to mean for how you show up to prejudging? Like, are you going to be peaked? And if not, where are you going to fall? Right. So,
yeah. And I think at this point, the best thing they can do, if they intend to show up, which I don't think he's going to pull out, but if they intend to show up, the best thing they can do right now is just keep pushing. Don't do anything drastic.
Yeah.
Show up the week of the show. Don't throw the chemistry set at him. And just be as full as he can without spilling, if that makes sense. Like, just bring the tightest package you can. He's not going to win. We know Rafa's not going to win. So the best thing they could do is land the plane and try to get him in the top 6. All right, last person we're going to look at, Andrew Jacked. And the reason I even wanted to look at him is because I want to compare and contrast before we see them side by side on stage, because I think they're going to, if Anthony Williams gets a good call, I think they're going to put him next to Andrew at some point, or Rafa. I think he could be somewhere between Andrew and Rafa. But if he gets next to Andrew, this guy is I know, man. Like, he's just unreal. Yeah, I want to get a good physique update, and he's always weird about his physique posts.
Andrew is just that guy where like, and everyone said this that's like seen him in person. I've never seen him in person. Like you just look at like these videos and you're like, good God, you know?
Yeah, I mean, well, look at him getting in the cryo chamber. These aren't,
Yeah.
I mean, they're not huge chambers, right? But look when he
Yeah.
gets in, he's shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. He barely fits in there.
Yeah, he's a now the one thing I did notice. Check this out. I don't know. I haven't paid attention to enough in the past.
Yeah.
But I think he's starting to get a little umbilical hernia.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
See that right there?
Yeah.
I've never seen it in the past. Let me see if there's a. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess he did. Because if you
Okay,
look,
yeah.
he had it. All right, so we're good. All right, let's get one. Here we go, right here.
So wait, he
Damn.
looks like he's an MI40. Is he in Tampa right
Yeah,
now?
he trains with Kamal. He trains with Kamal El-Garni down here.
Oh, shit. Okay, that's incredible.
Yep. And I don't think he lives here. I think he comes in to train with Kamal, and that's it.
Gotcha. I think he's out of Dubai, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm almost fairly certain. He's always weird about physique updates, bro.
I'll give you my
Yeah.
top 5. He's the one. I see him taking it. That's my number 1 pick.
Yeah, he's gonna. Let me see if I can get one. Forget about it. We know what he looks like. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But yeah. So tell me what is your
Okay,
what's
so
your top 5?
This is my take. This is what I think is going to happen. I think Andrew 1, Nick 2, Hottie 3.
No kidding.
Yeah, Hottie 3. 4 is a toss up, but 4 I want to give to. You said Tonio's not doing it.
Yeah, if Tonio was there, yeah, that would be my 4.
Okay, so then 4 I'll give to Brandon.
Okay, yeah, Brandon pulled out all the stops at the Olympia, and he was right behind Nick. Remember?
Yeah. So I'll give 4 to Brandon, and just because I love the physique and I'm rooting for him, I'll give 5 to Akeem.
God, I love Akeem because Akeem's like our generation, right?
Yeah.
Akeem was. I always wanted to look like him. Well, I talked about Dennis Wolf. I wanted to look like a freak back when I first started. And Akeem was always, because he was sponsored by what's the company that had that they sponsored Kai Green for a while? Carnivore. They got I can't remember. But he's been sponsored by the same damn company his whole career.
Yeah.
And he always would do like they'd have those carnivore ads where he would have like a big steak in his mouth and just the dude was just bigger than life.
Yeah.
I really like Akeem. The only problem with Akeem, we'll look at him real quick. He's got that issue with his back where those lats, like this right here. See if he. Oh, man. Why do all the guys do that these days?
Yeah,
they post. They post the screenshot. Need a back photo.
I know what you mean about his back. I know it's like
see how the lats down here.
Yeah,
they're gone.
Yeah, I think it's a structural thing with him.
Because he's always been like that. Yeah, he's always had really high weird lat inserts.
But the reason I'm rooting for him is because his conditioning has been pretty decent the last few showings.
Well, he works with Aceto.
Yeah, so I'm like, that might be with the level of muscle this dude has. Maybe that's saying a lot.
He's with Muscle Meds. That's the company. All those old Muscle Med ads. Yeah, I think if he can bring nails conditioning, because this right here, this was 4 weeks. This is 4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good 7-week out update.
Yeah, it is.
If he can bring
look at the legs, the arms, the chest. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
muscle.
he's got adductors all the way down to his knees, man.
Yeah.
Like it's.
I think he'd go into a damn split to not have a gap there. That's how I'm
right.
Thinking.
Yeah. He could go. Yeah, he could go like kneecaps to like a full split like Andrew does on stage, and they'd probably still be touching. Yeah. So he's. Let me go back to the lineup. I'll give you my top. All right, so I think I'm going to mention Nick first, but I don't have him in first. Okay. I think that Nick is just going to be, for the rest of his career, I think he's going to go on and do great things. I think he's going to win shows. I think he's always going to be a top guy, but he's always going to be structurally limited by his torso.
Yes.
He's got short legs, and he's got a long torso.
Yep.
And he's got and not just a long torso, a wide torso. And not and actually It's not terribly wide. The problem is his legs are so short.
Yeah.
And like my wife, Ashley, she's got the opposite. She's got long legs, short torso.
Yeah.
It looks weird on a bikini athlete.
Yeah.
But so like that, he's going to be structurally hindered. But I think he's always from the back though. If you've seen Nick's poses from the back lately, holy crap.
Oh, I know.
It's his show to lose. And I mean this ubiquitously. Every show he goes to, it's his to lose from the back.
Yeah.
I know they talk about how Derek has a great back, and Derek has a great back. He doesn't have a great back shot.
Agreed.
When you see Nick from the back, he is stripped from head to toe. He's got hamstrings and adductors that are a country mile wide. He has really good taper from the back. So from the back, everyone loses to Nick.
Yeah, from the back and also a lot of his side poses. He's
God, yeah, from the side, he's unbeatable.
Yeah.
But all right, so my top, I've got Andrew in one, because I think if Andrew comes in nails, I don't think, like we talked about earlier, we've seen the best hottie.
Yeah.
Hottie's just going to be consistent from this point out. We're going to see the same hottie every single year. Okay.
Agreed.
I think Andrew's going to keep getting better because even though he's in his 40s, he just started competing. So I think Andrew 1, Hottie 2. So if Martin can get out of his own head, I'm going to say 3.
Okay. I'm glad you said that because I think Martin is going to be a winner eventually. But
he's got to get out of his own head. He's got to stop letting everything impact him. It is just
incredible, you know.
Yeah, like the Stoic quotes I love putting out. You always have an option of having no opinion. You know, in other words, you don't have to make this into something. Just shut up, dude. Do your job.
Yeah.
The best answer is no answer, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So Martin, if he can keep it together, 3, then Nick, and then this is where I get a little crazy. I love Akeem, but from the back, and then if his conditioning's off, Akeem will slide down. So for me, it's going to be a toss-up between Brandon, Anthony. So the what's that, 4? The 5th spot, because it's Andrew, Hottie, Martin, Nick. The 5th spot is going to be a toss-up between Anthony Williams, Mo Fuda, this dude right here, and Brandon.
Gotcha.
And then I think Akeem will be in the 6th spot because I don't think Rafa's going to come in shape.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't think so. All right. I know you got to go at 2. What do we want to talk about classic physique?
Oh, I can give you my top 5 here.
Yep. Let's do it.
I'm familiar enough with even some of the guys that I'm not that familiar with to give a top 5. So I'm going to give 1 to Mike.
Yep. Now, they're not reheighting them though. Right? Because they said at the Olympia, this is your height for the next year.
Yes.
So he's got to come in at 202, not 212.
True. But I think he'll do it. He's done it in the past.
Well, he knows he has to do it, right? So in other words, he's not going to have to do what he did at the Olympia and suck down.
Right.
He knows he has to be 202.
Yeah. Yes. But still, with that, I give Mike 1, Wesley 2. We'll see. Wesley could take 1 too. It just depends on what he comes. He's going to wait. But Mike, Wesley, I'm going to give Gabriel. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. 3.
Yeah, Zancanelli.
Zancanelli, yeah. Gabriel, I'm giving 3. Joaquin 4, and then 5 is the one where I'm not familiar. Where's that guy's name? Hang on.
You talking about Minigate over here?
Yeah, maybe I got him in 5th.
Yeah. So do you remember Angel, this guy? Kim Angel?
Not really.
All right. So check this. When you and I first started competing 100 years ago, Kim Angel was a men's physique guy because men's physique was just coming up. And this dude, I followed him back in the day. And I just, like a lot of the men's physique guys from when you and I were younger, they just kind of disappeared. They just kind of fell off.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was what happened with Kim. Like, I just thought he just kind of fell off. No, this dude now, if you haven't followed him, we'll pull him up real quick and then I'll give you my 5. This dude is one to watch.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him at all.
He was a men's physique guy. I'd go give him a look or a follow. He's got a phenomenal, and he's been peeled. He's been dug out for weeks, Z. Look at this. It's disgusting. Now, structurally, he's got a decent physique, but he's not very thick. Like you see that back, that's not there's not a lot of density there.
I mean, you're not going to stand next to Mike with that.
No,
you know?
that's the point. Yeah, he's not going to play with Mike at all.
Yeah.
Or even Wesley. So here, what's that?
Or even Wesley, you know, like
Wesley. I mean, the Austrian oak, man. The guy is, or not the Austrian. What do they call him? Where the hell's he from? I don't even remember. But he calls himself the Dutch. The Dutch oak is what he calls himself. All right, so here's my top 5. And it's funny, we didn't even mention Sam Sulek, which I have mixed feelings about Sam. I think it's great what he's doing for the younger generation to some degree, but I don't think he has a classic physique at all.
I like Sam. I just don't think he has classic physique either.
Yeah, I like him. That's what I said. I think he's great for the industry.
Yeah.
I don't think he's classic at all.
Yeah, like I'm with you. I think he has a good mindset and the things he's trying to do. I think he just needs to get bigger and going open.
100%. Yeah. That's I've thought that quite a bit, because even structurally from an open perspective, he doesn't have he doesn't genetically have a good physique.
No, agreed.
So he's always going to be one of those guys where he's going to compete on conditioning and size. He's just not shape. He's going to be a conditioning and size guy. All right, my top 5 here. If Wesley shows up better, I think that he can beat Mike, because Mike shines when he can be 212 pounds. Like when we saw him win the Arnold, I think it was, where he came in at 212. When he weighted, or he heighted in higher. That is an unbeatable Mike. The Mike that had to come to the Olympia and got beat by Ramon.
Yeah.
I think he's vulnerable. So I think if Wesley comes in, because we know what Wesley looks like when he comes in nails.
Yeah.
If Wesley comes in this year like that, I think he can beat Mike if Mike has to weigh 202. I believe that's his weight. So I'm going to go Wesley 1, Mike 2. Then I'm going to go, and this is a dark horse. This is like a left field. I'm going to give it to Kim Angel. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sam, last place. And then I'm going to go 4. I like Zancanelli, but I think Minigate's a bit bigger, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So I think that, and I know that classic's not a size thing, but there's something to be said for an imposing structure on stage. And I think that Minigate is going to just come right in somewhere between the 3rd and 4th spot, and then Zancanelli. And then the rest of the guys, I don't know them well enough.
Yeah.
I know this guy right here, this Bud Peel or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I know he's pretty good, but I think that he'll be somewhere in the lower than 6th.
Okay.
And then this guy,
I'm not that familiar with him either. I know Paul. I've seen pictures on Instagram. Looks incredible.
Yeah, he's not big enough.
Yeah.
He needs to keep doing what he's doing. Beautiful physique, absolutely beautiful physique.
Yeah.
Not enough size. And it's not just enough size. It's like when you look at this, he doesn't have the density either. Right. Like, you know what I'm talking, like this is a physique where if I was coaching him and dieting him, I'm like, okay, we still have several pounds we could pull off before your nails. So he needs to put on I don't know what his weight cutoff is or his height, but I could see this guy putting on 10 pounds and then being competitive.
Agreed.
So yeah, that's it. I think it's going to
be. I think we're pretty close on this one too. I don't know. I don't see. Just based on what you showed, the God, what's his name?
Which one? Kim? Or are we talking about classic still?
I don't see Kim beating Gabriel or Mathis.
No, that's why I don't know. I don't know if he can. I think it could be Wesley, Mike. And then the 3rd place is going to be between probably Minigate, Zancanelli, and then if they completely screw the pooch, Kim Angel kind of finds his way in.
Gotcha. Okay.
But but here's the thing though. I think when we see the lineup, because Kim, I haven't seen Kim in a lot of good lineups.
Yeah.
I think when we see him in the lineup, it could be possible that Paul Canoe is one of those guys where, like, if he just shows up beautiful shape, he could get the nod.
True.
If you understand what I'm saying, like, because once you see them all together, because right now it's just a collection of individuals, but once you see them on stage, you start to see their vulnerabilities,
right?
And you're just like, okay, that's when they kind of work their way out of the lineup. You know, people
Right.
that are a little more vulnerable.
Agree. Agreed.
All right, brother. What else do we have in closing?
In closing, I'm looking forward to touching on the topics next time. And I think,
Yeah,
I'll make sure we got like an extra 30 minutes. That way we're not rushing through the end.
right
But
down to the wire.
yeah, yeah. But I think those will be fun to get into and kind of
Yeah,
flesh out.
yeah. I look forward to it. I really that's kind of what I want to do with this channel as we continue to grow, is not just be so myopic with bodybuilding, but like show how you can integrate into bodybuilding, into life. Like kind of the theme of this. You can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Right.
Meaning you can be a high value individual to the world, and you can do this.
Agreed.
But then the only way we're gonna our impact, at least the impact I want to have, and I'll end with this. The impact I want to have is we can't affect the generation in front of us, but we can certainly help the one behind us.
Agreed.
So that's where I want to start.
Yeah. Same. That's kind of been my purpose for any interaction I have with younger people. It's like, I want you guys to be better than I have
Yeah,
been. So,
right. It's like did you see the podcast that Steve Harvey did?
No.
Okay, so I'll send you a link to the podcast. Steve Harvey did this really good podcast with a couple of famous football players, and they have a really good podcast. And he said he was talking about when his dad died,
Mhm.
and he said, when my dad died, your dad is the only man that exists that want you to be better than him.
Yep.
And when his dad died, he lost the only person that essentially was proud of him.
Yeah.
That wanted better for him.
Yeah.
But I can say for me, at least for me and what I want moving forward, I want everybody to be better. I want everybody to grow and level up.
I agree. That's always in my perspective because I'm not really competing against anyone but myself.
Yeah, no, this is my lane. This is me.
Yeah.
But I want everybody to level up, because here's the thing. High tides raise all ships.
Yeah.
So
And
if
there's
we
enough
all
for
get better,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
And
huge.
your point, there's enough for all of us, right? So it's like
Oh, the ocean of abundance is infinite.
there's that
Yeah,
grief that it just is bad for everything.
right. Yeah. The ocean of abundance is infinite. You can go to it with an eyedropper or a Mack truck. You can go to an eyedropper and say, oh, that's all I get for it. That's all the abundance I get. Or you
Yeah.
can go to it with a Mack truck and fill it up 100 times a day. The
Yeah.
ocean of abundance is not going to go down at all. So I
Right,
think
right.
everybody just needs to level up and be the best version they can be. Don't focus on the negative. Focus on the positive. Life punches you in the mouth a lot. That doesn't mean you have to stay there.
Yeah. Hell, that's a great way to put it. I'll end it on that one.
All right, brother. Hey, I'll talk to you offline. Have an amazing rest of the week.
You too, man. Talk to you next time.
I appreciate you. We'll see you.
Bye.